Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and this is a library haul. Someone's calling me. They'll go away. Maybe? Nope. They have not given up. Okay. Okay, so this week I have gone to the library a couple times and I have gotten quite a big stack of books. I'm somebody that checks out a lot of books from the library. I didn't used to do that before. I was somebody that would always buy my books, but then I realized that that was such an extra expense that I really didn't need, because a lot of the books that I was buying, I wasn't really interested in them. So the first book that I got from the library is The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. I have seen this book on BookTube so many times, but I had never seen this edition before. Now I'm like really wondering why there is an apple on the front. I wonder if the tree is an apple tree maybe? I don't know. But I have seen this on so many people's channels. You know, I've heard that it is a children's book that is written in a really intelligent way. And I love books like that. I love when books are you know, they're for perhaps a younger audience, but that doesn't mean that the author dumbs the book down. I think that just because you're little doesn't mean that you don't have the smarts and the intelligence and the brains to understand something that is a little bit more complex. I know that it follows a young girl, I believe she's 14, it is historical fiction. So it doesn't say what specific year this book is set in, but I know it's historical fiction. I don't know if it's the Victorian era. I have an inkling that it might be the Victorian era, but I'm not 100% sure. She finds a tree, it's magical, things happen. I also love when like books from the library come with a dust jacket, because a lot of the times when I pick up hardcover books from my library, they don't have the dust jacket. And I always wonder, where do the dust jackets go? Where do the library employees take them? The next book that I got is The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson. I have already read this. I read it pretty much the moment that I picked it up. This is a book that I've heard so much about in the last couple of months. This book is about Maggie Nelson's life, about her relationship with her gender fluid partner Harry, and it is about motherhood and gender and femininity and what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a man, what it means to be queer, what it means to be straight, and just society. And there's so much in here, and I picked it up from my library and devoured it the moment I got home. So there it is. I hate this. I have the worst memory for authors' names. I always forget them, and it pisses me off so much. By Rose Tremain. I was about to say Tracy. So yeah, this book was not written by someone named Tracy, it was written by someone named Rose, so there it goes. It follows a young boy, it is also historical fiction, and it follows a young boy that lives in Switzerland during the Second World War, I believe. World War? Yeah, World War. Sometimes I get a little bit tongue-tied. I had speech therapy as a kid. I couldn't roll my R's. Sorry. Then I picked up The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, which is another one that I have really high hopes for, but unlike the Gustav Sonata, this is one that I have wanted to read pretty much every single month since I found out of its existence. This book is about a young 19-year-old, I believe in the 17th century, I think she's in the Netherlands, is married off to a rich man who is significantly older than her, and she is gifted this like miniature version of their home, of their house, so you know, the miniaturist, and then things just kind of go on from there. I have seen so many book reviews on this. I cannot wait to read this. I really feel like this is probably going to be like a 4 or 5 stars for me, and that is really exciting because I just love reading that. But it is kind of a high stakes book. You know, I feel like I'm either going to 100% love it or 100% hate it. It's so difficult to read books that you feel like you're really gonna like, because you know going into it that there's only two options, right? You're really gonna like it, or you're just gonna be really disappointed. And unless that book is like absolutely mind-blowingly perfect, you have already made up your mind that, oh, it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that, and then when it's not that, you just end up disappointed. And finally, I got two books that are all about my favorite artist ever, which is Vincent van Gogh. I love Vincent van Gogh. Seeing his paintings when I was younger was what made me fall in love with art. I fell in love with not only what he did and with his talent, but also with who he was and with his story. I think that Vincent van Gogh is one of the most real and emotional and expressive artists. The world is a better place because Vincent van Gogh decided to pick up a paintbrush, and reading about him and learning about him makes me feel like I'm coming home. He is somebody that I really look up to. I think that he just had such a tragic life, but yet he brought so much joy to everybody with his paintings. And here we are so many years after his death, and you still can't help but smile when you look at Starry Night or his Sunflower series. So when I saw this graphic novel, I immediately went to it. It is a wonderful graphic novel. I already read it pretty much the moment that I picked it up. I read it in between classes, so that tells you something. This is a wonderful, lovely graphic novel all about Vincent during his time where he was in Arles in France. He went there to really dedicate himself to his work. He wanted to establish an artist colony there, which didn't really work out, and it was a period in his life that was incredibly important to who he ultimately became and who he ultimately was and is as an artist. It is also about the relationship between him and his brother Theo. His brother Theo was such an important person in Vincent van Gogh's life, and we wouldn't have the Vincent van Gogh that we have today if it wasn't for Theo. He was an incredible brother who not only helped Vincent in an emotional way, but also in a financial way. He believed in Vincent before anybody else believed in him. And I've always adored that relationship between the brothers, and this graphic novel does a stunning job of portraying it. This graphic novel is filled with beautiful colors, so it really does Van Gogh justice. It has these absolutely wonderful panels of him drawing. It also has some really lovely and touching dialogue, and it does a fantastic job of expressing Van Gogh's madness. This is illustrated and written by Barbara Stoke, and apparently it's part of a series. In the back it says that she has done one for Pablo Picasso, which I will try to find in my library. And I really think it's wonderful. She got the idea of who Vincent van Gogh was. It's really about nature, and you really do feel like you're in the mind of this artist. And I think it is a wonderful introduction to Van Gogh if you don't really know much about him. And just as a graphic novel, it really moved me, and I loved it. And obviously I come into it with already an established knowledge on this artist, and he is my favorite artist, but I think that anybody, whether you like art or not, can be moved by such a story as this one. I will be looking it up on Amazon and buying it. So I think that is a good thing. When you pick up a book at the library and you like it so much and you decide that it needs to be a part of your collection, that means that that book is really good. The other book that I got about this artist was Vincent and Theo, the Van Gogh Brothers by DEBORAH HEILIGMAN. So this is a fictionalized story that follows Vincent and his brother Theo. And when I saw this, I didn't know if I wanted to take it home with me because it is a full-on novel. So I don't really know how I feel about this one yet. Hopefully it's good and I enjoy it. So that was my library haul. I hope that you are interested in some of these books just like I am. Bye!